morning to students. Today we'll discuss about the industrial management and the concepts related to industrial management in this introductory lecture. Within this lecture, we'll see about the industrial engineering and industrial management both, because as a engineer you must know about industrial engineering first, because you people are engineering students, and so how the engineering principles like development and design of a new system, it starts within the industry, and how the managers manage the same within the industry, it should be known to you first. Then only we can proceed further within the subject. Further within this subject, we'll see about industrial engineering as well as industrial management. Then we'll see the relevance of the subject from the viewpoint of both engineering as well as management, like what are the tasks or functions that are performed by the industrial engineers as well as industrial managers within the industry. And then later on we'll discuss the sequence of the lectures. Later on we'll discuss about the roles and responsibilities that are carried out by the industrial managers within the industry. Further, we'll see about the characteristics of the industrial management, and later on we'll discuss the challenges that are faced by day-to-day engineers as well as manager in their day-to-day function. So to start with the lecture, first we'll discuss about what is the relevance of this subject from the viewpoint of you all as an engineer. You all have to design as well as develop some software, some system, some techniques in the industry where you have to go, where you will work. So in order to design and develop, first you know about the basic concepts of engineering. Okay? You all are aware after engineering the basic concepts, the new technologies, design techniques, development techniques, how to install the system, how to manage the system. But besides the installation of the system as well as design and development of the system, you must know about some managerial skills, like how to plan the things, how to organize the data, how to organize the people within the organization. And that means you must know about the managerial skills along with the engineering or technical skills. Then only you can make the balance between these two, and within the industry you need both of these things. So to start with the industrial engineering is the science, is the branch of engineering that deals with the design, procurement, installation, development of the new system as well as the optimization of the existing system which we are using in the industry. So the first thing comes is design of the system. Second is installation of the system. Here I must write design as well as development both, because alone designing is not enough. You have to develop also the system. Both these terms are connected with the engineering sciences. Unless and until you don't know about the designing techniques, the development phases, then you will not be able to design the system. And further, with the engineering skills, you also require some managerial skills, like you have to plan the things, you have to organize the resources within the organization, you have to procure the resources, like as a store manager or purchase manager, procure the resources. Procurement is very important. Next is you have to staff the people, means that you have to organize the resources, means you have to organize man, machine, material, money, method. Means you have to collect all these things in a effective manner so that you can utilize these engineering techniques. You can say designing, development as well as installation within the organization. Here, next thing that comes about the industrial management is you need to create the difference. You need to understand the difference between these two. When we talk about industrial engineering, it deals with the utilization of technical skills only in terms of designing, development as well as installation of the system. The system may be new as well as existing both. Whereas when we talk about managerial skills, managerial point of view, then we have to organize, then we have to focus on the two things basically. First is planning and another one is decision making. Because from the viewpoint of managers, they have to involve planning as well as decision making. The other things, the rest of the things are done by the executives, those who are working under the managers. So, next we'll see about the need of the industrial management as well as industrial engineering. When we talk about the need, as I told you earlier, that as an industrial engineer or industrial manager, you have to effectively deal with the resources within the organization in order to design, develop as well as install the system. So, the ultimate need of the industrial management as a subject, you must know about the relevance as well as importance of industrial management. Like, we do a process that starts from arranging the input or resources. By arranging the input such as man, machine, material, money and all the required input, we have to process something. So for processing, here some machinery, some stages, some development stages will occur. And through these stages, we can produce output in terms of both goods as well as services. You must know about the difference between the goods as well as services. Goods are tangible things. The things you can touch. These are the goods like fan, tube lights. All these are identical products. They are identical in shape and size. They can be tangible. They can touch. They can smell. Whereas services are intangible. Like you go to the bank, the service provider on the desk provide you the services. According to the service speed, the treatment, the way in which the executive deal with you, you assess the quality of the services provided by the service provider. So the basic difference between these, the output is in terms of good, it is tangible, and in terms of services, they are intangible. Second difference we can quote is the goods are homogeneous. Like here, all the 6 fans are of having same technical specification. They are running on 1200 RPM. They are having certain electricity requirement, and they will run on some fixed frequency, that's 50 hertz. And whereas service, say suppose 5 service providers are there in the bank. They all are providing different type of service, the same type of services, but the way in which they will provide the service, they will handle the service, it may be possible. So one of the executive, becomes hesitated, or it will be irritated very soon. Whereas the other service provider will work very cool and calm. And so here, when we see about this characteristic of services, then services are heterogeneous and they are variable. Means whereas the goods are tangible and the goods are provided by by the service provider, or we can say industry, are of same kind. That is, they are of homogeneous. So let's talk about the example again. I am discussing about the need of the industrial engineering in the organization, and where the need arises. Now we will take an example again of two industries. One who is utilizing their resources in a better manner, effective manner. Obviously, they will manage the first stages, that is input, man, machine, material, in a better manner, in an effective manner. Other resources, money, method, energy, thing. Whereas they also focus on their process, so that defect that may arise during the processing or that may arise after the production will not be exceed after a certain limit. And this is here the industrial engineers, here the industrial managers' work starts. If the industrial engineer or manager is efficient, their basic work is to effective utilization of the resources that are being used within the industry. If the industrial and the second industry is that where all this process, the same process is carried out in the same manner. Number of resources are managed, number of resources are procured by the company, and the same processing is carried out. But the things are not doing so effectively. So what will be the end result? End result will be more defect. The defective products will be produced. Services will be interrupted due to their poor quality. And so one should take care as an industrial engineer or manager that within the organization, within any of the product type or service type organization, the procurement, right from the procurement of resources to the production of the goods as well as services, the process should be flawless, smooth. There should be no any interruption. The second thing, as a need, one should take care about, you have to minimize the use of resources. Obviously, efficiency, if we see the efficiency of the production, it will depend on the two factors, output and input. In the industry, output represented by these goods and services that are provided by the service provider or good provider. And input for the owner or manufacturer is these resources. Man, machine, material, money, cost that is incurred within the resources as well as processing operation, energy. So our purpose is to minimize. Efficiency will be increased when the efficiency will increase, the input will be reduced and output will be increased. So we have to focus on to minimize the cost of these input. This is the need of the industrial management, to produce the right quality, right kind of goods of products as well as services at right time for the right people. If the customer demand is not clear to the manufacturer or service provider, then there is no use of entire process or this particular exercise. There is no use. So, as a manufacturer or service provider, one should clear about his or her mind that the output should be maximized. Output may be profit. Output should be unit. Output may be number of unit produced by the manufacturer. Okay. Profit margins that are arised by selling out those products. So these outputs should be maximized always. Okay. Further, we can also assess the output in terms of individual resources, like labor productivity should be high, machine utilization should be high, material should be least waste should be there, then only the output will increase. Cost should be minimized. Cost of production, cost of procurement of resources to process the goods should be minimized. Then only the efficiency of the organization will increase. And as an industrial engineer or manager, the first and foremost task is to plan the things. As I told you earlier, that the two of the important function of engineer or of a industrial engineer or industrial manager is, first is to plan the things, second is to make the decision. Okay. So decision making, prompt decision making, quick decision making and right decision making is as important as the planning. So with this we can see about the relevance as well as need of industrial management nowadays increases day by day. Why? Because tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 type of resources and their cost are increasing day by day, whereas their availability reduces day by day. Resources are depleting day by day. And so it is at most required from the viewpoint of manufacturer to maximize, to utilize their resources to maximum extent. Then only they can maximize their efficiency, maximize their productivity, maximize their capability, and so on. Further, next we'll see about the terms related to the subject industrial management, that is production management as well as operation management. These two terms are also important to know as a student, like what is the difference between production management and operation management. Many times students get confused within these two terms. Here, as the name suggests itself, production management. When we talk about production management, we are talking about basically the production of the goods sold that are tangible, that are homogeneous, that are of same kind. Whereas when we talk about the operation management, then operation management consists of to manage the day-to-day operation, right from planning, organizing the resources, staffing, directing the efforts as well as the operations that are carried out in the organization. And so both these terms are quite different. Like when we talk about production management, we are talking about goods, production of goods that are done. And when we talk about operation management, then both goods as well as services. Goods as well as services. Both are covered. Okay. So these two terms are very much important, and sometimes in exam the difference between the two are asked. Next we will move towards the roles and responsibilities of an industrial engineer or industrial manager who are working in the organization. So, as we have seen earlier, that as an industrial engineer, you have to design the new system, you have to procure the resources for that, you have to know about the installation techniques for the systems. Whereas, as a manager, you have to know about to manage the resources by planning as well as by decision making, by prompt decision making techniques. These are the basic roles as well as responsibilities of the industrial manager who are working in the organization. Here we can subdivide the roles and responsibility of industrial manager as an expert, as the advisor, as the consultant, as the decision maker, and as the service provider, or we can say planner. These are the basic roles and responsibilities that are carried out by the industrial manager working in the organization. So, when we talk about the role and responsibility as an expert in the area of working, the work environment, in which the engineer or you people are working in the industry, you must be expert in designing the new systems, in optimizing the existing system or old systems. You have to work about as an advisor in order to provide in order to procure the resources from the right kind of we can say right person, right procurement agency. It may be tier 1, tier 2 or tier 3 agency. Next, you have to work as a consultant. The basic work of consultant is to provide a right kind of suggestion to the management, as well as another function of consultant is to provide the right solution for their client. Next is the role of industrial engineer as a decision maker. As I told you earlier, decision making as well as planning. These are the two utmost requirement from the viewpoint of industrial managers, industrial engineers. So these are the roles and responsibilities that are carried out by the industrial engineers in their day-to-day working. Next, we'll discuss about the characteristics of the industrial management. As far as concerned, with all these terms and roles and responsibilities, you must know about the characteristics of the subject. The characteristics of the subject or the features of this particular industrial management subject are that it is first and foremost it's an interdisciplinary in nature. It is interdisciplinary. Science. Why it is interdisciplinary science? Just because as an engineer you must know about the basic idea how the devices are produced, how they are designed, how they are developed, how the service requirement about the devices, and further you have to know about the operation or the functioning of the devices also. And to fulfill this requirement, industrial management deals with the number of subjects like quality management, like purchase management, like sales management, like store management. In store management, inventory management is to be there. Inventory, how the inventory has to be managed. So for that, the proper inventory model is there. And as a student, you must know about the inventory models and how to manage the inventory within the organization. And so the subject, you can see, the subject deals with number of areas, and so it is interdisciplinary in nature. Second characteristic of this industrial management is that it is proactive and systematic approach-based subject. Systematic approach-based subject. It means it deals with the things, the requirement of the subject is to deal with the system in a systematic manner. Unless and until in our production, when we talk about a production organization or a service organization where the number of things, number of operations are not carried out in a particular sequence, then there is no any you can say profit for such kind of exercise. Why? All the exercise will be waste, because if the system is not systematically managed, if say suppose in a paper and pulp mill there are 10 stages of production, 1, 2, 3, so and so on. Like first is the extraction of juice, second is boiling of the juice, then third is that the addition of the filtering agents, then next is crystallization and to produce the byproducts and so on. So there are a number of stages involved in order to produce the good. And if as an organizer, as an organization, the things are not carried out in a systematic manner, in a sequential manner, then what will happen? Chaos will be created, and more the chaos will be created, more the disturbance will be created, the things will not be created. And so one should take care about the subject, that it is a systematic approach and deal in a systematic manner. The next and most important thing is about system management is it's a pervasive activity. Pervasive activity, when we talk about pervasive activity, means it's a why it is pervasive activity? It is pervasive activity just because it deals with, an industrial management or industrial engineer has to deal with different expertise, different experts from different areas. Like, in order to procure the goods, they have to deal with a particular step-by-step process, and they have to deal with the licensing officer. Through the licensing officer, they have to license the things. They have to bargain the things, and like on less cost. They have to procure the best material as possible. The material may be, as I told you earlier, that can be taken or procured from tier 1 suppliers, tier 2, or can be from tier 3 suppliers. So you can say that there are a number of characteristics or features of industrial management. Next we will discuss about the challenges that are faced by the industrial managers nowadays. Nowadays, the industrial managers are faced a number of challenges. Like, the environment is dynamic enough. The environment is one of the basic challenge ahead the engineers, ahead the industrial managers. See, nowadays, day to day, the new techniques are going on in the market, are introduced in the market, and so one should be agile enough in order to be in the market, in order to increase their market share. And the next challenge is the utilization of resources in a better manner. So the next challenge that is faced by the industrial managers is utilization of resources. The next challenge that is faced is licensing. Unless and until proper licensing is not in the organization, then there is no use of all these exercises. So we have to deal with all these things, all this system in a better manner. Then only the cost of production, the input will be reduced, processing cost will be reduced, and ultimate goods or services that is produced by the service provider or manufacturer will be properly utilized. Next is maximizing the output, as well as in terms of profit, productivity, machine utilization, plant capacity, etc. So one of the major challenge ahead the industrial managers is to maximize the output of the services as well as products that are produced by them. Indeed. Further, you will see that how industrial management comes in the present form, that is the evolution of the industrial management as a subject. When we talk about evolution of IT, it is a step-by-step process that starts with number of phases. Phase 1 start from, we can say, earlier to 18th century. Earlier to 18th century. Phase 2, and this phase is known as pre-industrial development phase. The next phase is industrial development phase. That is assumed to be starts from 18th century and up to 19th. The third phase is known as statistical technique based phase. And optimizing technique based phase, where it starts from 1920 and ends up to 1970. The next fourth phase starts from, it is known as automation phase, and it starts from early 70s, ends up to, and nowadays we are living in smart phase. You can say AI and IoT based phase. To start with the description of these phases, the first, as I told you earlier, that first phase is known as pre-industrial development era or pre-industrial development phase. This is the phase where the industrialist works on the rule of thumbs. Basically, the number of new techniques were not there in those days, and so the manufacturer or service provider relies on the rule of thumbs. They are basically works with the help of the labor that are working within the organization. They were responsible to maintain the quality of the product or goods that are produced by them, and there were no techniques, no latest technique or tools were available in those days. Second phase, that is industrial development phase, that is assumed to start in the early 18th century and ends up to 1920. Wherein this phase, basically, the industrial development, as the name suggests, it's an industrial development phase. Here, number of new tools, techniques were there, and with the help of those techniques, the like we can say, the invention of steam engine will take place, the invention of industrial motor will takes place, and so the things were mechanized slowly. And when the things were mechanized slowly, then obviously the managers or the workers or the engineers who are working in the organization were shifted from rule of thumbs to the basic principle. They at least know the law of thermodynamics. They were aware with the Newton's law, and so we can say in this phase, with the development of the new inventions, the industrial development and the growth of industries starts fast. Next phase starts from 1920 and ends up to the 1970. This phase is known as statistical technique phase or optimization technique phase. Within this phase, number of statistical tools and techniques related to operation management, like assignment techniques, transportation rules and techniques, industrial inventory management based tools were developed, and number of other quality management tools related to to increase the efficiency as well as optimizing the performance were there, and say we can say the 7QC tool, histogram, Pareto chart, bar chart, pie chart, all these statistical techniques were developed. The basic purpose of to develop these techniques is to reduce the dependency of the decision making on the basis of experience. Some evidence is required, and these statistical tools and techniques provides a kind of evidence to the managers that their decisions are right, they are going on the right track, right path, and all these evidence, or we can say the data validation techniques, arises in this ways. So the quality of the product produced in the organization will increase. The dependency on the decision of the individual related to the quality was decreased. And also within this phase, now the market becomes oligopolistic from the monopolistic. There were a number of players, there were a number of industries, there were a number of organizations who are responsible, were present in the field, and so the customer has a choice. Earlier to this, within these two phases, customer doesn't have any choice. They have to take the product or services that are produced by, that are provided by the manufacturer or service provider. Whereas within this phase onward, the customer oriented approach starts, and customer was the one who can now differentiate among the products and services offered by the manufacturer or service provider, and also he or she can avail those as per their requirement. The next phase, fourth phase, is known as automation phase. There are number of tools, automated tools and techniques, tools and machinery related to the production as well as services, as such as NC machines, numerical control machines, CNC machines, computer numerical control machines, DNC machine, direct numerical control machines were developed for carried out the operations. This basically helps to those organizations who are producing the things in a mass, in a bulk. So the basic advantage for those like GM, like Tata, like Maruti, these are the giant automobile giant who produce the goods, automobiles in the large amount, mass. And so automation phase helps those service providers, those manufacturers. The last phase is smart phase or smart technology phase, and this phase is going on nowadays. In this phase, artificial intelligence based techniques, as well as Internet of Things based smart technologies are being used. And with these technologies, one can assist to the customer that they are being served in a better manner and the best by the service provider or manufacturer. So with this, we come to the end of this introductory portion of industrial management, where in this lecture we sum up about the industrial engineering and industrial management. We have discussed about the need and relevance of the industrial management. Further, we have discussed about the roles and responsibilities of industrial managers, characteristics of this particular subject, challenges that are faced by the industrial engineers, and also the different phases of industrial management. So in the next lecture, we will discuss about the production systems and productivity. With this, I sum up this lecture at here. Thank you.